Speed has always been more than a number. It is the ultimate test of human precision, engineering ambition, and the thin line between mastery and madness. For decades, motorcycle builders have chased the same elusive goal: to be the fastest on the planet. Every innovation, every ounce of power, every aerodynamic surface has been pushed to the edge of physics itself. Yet true greatness is not just about acceleration or top speed. It is about balance, control, and the confidence to tame immense potential without losing the soul of the ride. In a world obsessed with breaking limits, one machine proved that raw velocity could still coexist with elegance. Its story is a turning point in motorcycle history, when engineering became art and speed found its conscience. Today, we look back at the machine that defined Honda's boldest era of performance. The CBR1100XX Super Blackbird, built from 1996 to 2000, and remembered as the fastest Honda motorcycle ever made. If you enjoy deep dives into legendary machines and the stories that shaped them, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment on which bike you want to see next. When Honda introduced the CBR1100XX Super Blackbird in 1996, it was answering a challenge that had been building for years. Other manufacturers were producing increasingly powerful motorcycles, each claiming the crown of the world's fastest production machine. Honda, known for refinement and precision, had no choice but to prove that it could dominate not just through reliability or handling, but through outright speed. The Super Blackbird was the result of that determination, a 1,137 cubic centimeters inline-four sport touring motorcycle that would go on to define the final years of the unrestricted speed era. The name itself carried weight. Inspired by the State Route 71 reconnaissance aircraft, the CBR1100XX promised stealthy power, technical superiority, and blistering performance that seemed impossible for a road bike of its time. Honda did not simply want to make a fast motorcycle. It wanted to build one that embodied total balance, where power met civility and aerodynamics merged with comfort. The engine of the CBR1100XX Super Blackbird was a masterpiece of precision. Its inline-four produced around 164 horsepower and 91 pound-feet of torque, which were extraordinary figures in the late 1990s. But numbers alone could not explain its appeal. What set the Blackbird apart was how it delivered that power. Linear, smooth, and relentless. The throttle response was crisp, and there was almost no vibration through the handlebars or foot pegs. This made the bike deceptively fast. Riders often found themselves at 150 miles per hour before realizing how effortlessly they had accelerated. The gearbox was a seamless 6-speed unit, refined to minimize shift shock and maximize power delivery at high speed. Combined with its long wheelbase and stable chassis, the Super Blackbird felt planted and calm, even when the speedometer needle was deep in triple-digit territory. The aerodynamics of the Blackbird were another defining factor. Honda invested significant wind tunnel testing time to craft a body that cut through air with minimal drag. The bike's fairings were sleek and tightly contoured, reducing turbulence around the rider. The front fascia, with its distinctive dual headlights, gave the machine a predatory look while serving a crucial function in airflow management. Even small details, like the angle of the mirrors and the contour of the tail section, were optimized to minimize resistance. The result was a motorcycle capable of reaching over 180 miles per hour in unrestricted form, a feat that made it the fastest production motorcycle in the world at the time of its release. Yet the Blackbird was not just a straight-line rocket. Honda engineered the CBR1100XX to be surprisingly versatile. Its seating position was more relaxed than that of a pure supersport, allowing riders to cover long distances without fatigue. The suspension offered a near-perfect compromise between stiffness and comfort, absorbing imperfections in the road while maintaining composure at high speed. This combination of ergonomics and performance made the Super Blackbird not only a high-speed champion, but also one of the most capable sport touring bikes ever built. It could carve mountain roads, devour highways, and still handle daily commuting duties with ease. Honda's approach to braking and stability on the CBR1100XX was equally forward-thinking. The bike was one of the first to feature the company's dual combined braking system, which linked the front and rear brakes for more balanced stopping power. This system improved confidence during high-speed braking and reduced the risk of rear-wheel lift. The chassis, constructed from lightweight aluminum, provided a rigid platform without compromising comfort. Honda's engineers achieved a weight distribution that gave the bike superb stability at extreme speeds, while still allowing responsive cornering when leaned over. Every element of the Blackbird's design reflected Honda's philosophy of total control. Even its sound was deliberate. A deep, subdued growl rather than the aggressive scream typical of high-performance machines. The goal was to create an aura of authority rather than intimidation. The CBR1100XX was the kind of motorcycle that commanded respect through its competence, not its noise. Riders who experienced it often spoke of how it inspired trust, a rare trait in a machine capable of outrunning almost anything on two wheels. By the time the 2000 model year arrived, the Blackbird had become a symbol of Honda's engineering excellence. Updates to fuel injection, materials, and electronics refined its performance further, but the core philosophy never changed. It was about controlled power, stability, and the art of making speed civilized. The competition took notice. Other manufacturers began to develop their own high-speed contenders, sparking an unofficial race to see who could build the fastest motorcycle on Earth. For a few years, the CBR1100XX reigned supreme. It had surpassed previous speed record holders and proven that Honda could blend comfort, sophistication, and incredible speed into a single package. But that dominance would soon be tested. Rival manufacturers were not content to let Honda's flagship keep the title. They were preparing their own challengers, machines built with one goal in mind: to dethrone the Super Blackbird. As the millennium turned, the stage was set for a showdown that would push motorcycle engineering to its limits. New technologies were emerging. Computer-aided design, more advanced fuel systems, and increasingly aerodynamic frames promised to change the game yet again. For Honda, the question was not just how fast a motorcycle could go, but whether the pursuit of speed itself had a limit worth respecting. The CBR1100XX Super Blackbird stood as both an achievement and a warning. A demonstration of what happens when technology, ambition, and control meet at the edge of possibility. The CBR1100XX Super Blackbird's supremacy did not go unchallenged for long. Within a few years of its debut, rival manufacturers were pushing forward with new designs that promised even higher speeds. The motorcycle world was entering what many enthusiasts would later call the top speed era, a short but unforgettable chapter in performance history. Honda's 2000 model of the CBR1100XX represented the peak of its evolution. Its refined fuel-injected engine, aerodynamic improvements, and bulletproof reliability made it the benchmark by which all others were judged. Yet this same success invited an arms race that would redefine how fast a street-legal motorcycle could go. At the core of Honda's design philosophy for the Super Blackbird was not chaos but control. Unlike some of its rivals, which chased raw numbers at the expense of rideability, the CBR1100XX balanced every parameter with surgical precision. Its aerodynamics, for instance, were not just about cutting drag. They also reduced lift at high speeds and improved cooling efficiency. The aluminum frame, designed for rigidity, gave the rider total confidence even as the speedometer climbed toward 180 miles per hour. Honda's engineers spent as much time tuning suspension geometry as they did perfecting airflow. They wanted the Blackbird to be stable, predictable, and approachable. In doing so, they made speed feel almost civilized, a sensation that left riders both awed and unsettled. This approach reflected Honda's broader corporate culture. Throughout its history, Honda had been a company of engineers first, racers second. Where others sought dominance through bravado, Honda sought it through refinement. The CBR1100XX Super Blackbird was a pure expression of that mindset. Every curve of its bodywork, every component within its engine, and every calibration of its electronics served a single purpose: to prove that high-speed performance could coexist with harmony and grace. In an era when speed often meant compromise, the Blackbird stood apart as a complete, mature design that made power feel effortless rather than intimidating. However, the motorcycle landscape was shifting. As the CBR1100XX set records and earned praise, competitors began to develop new technologies that would challenge Honda's dominance. Larger displacement engines, advanced fuel systems, and increasingly aggressive aerodynamic designs appeared in rival machines. The competition became a showcase of technological escalation, and the stakes rose with every new release. What began as an engineering rivalry soon turned into a philosophical divide about what a motorcycle should represent. Honda maintained that real-world usability mattered more than top-end bragging rights. The company continued refining the Super Blackbird, introducing fuel injection in 1999 and improving its mid-range torque to make it more responsive in everyday conditions. Meanwhile, competitors focused almost entirely on surpassing the CBR1100XX's top speed figure, often producing bikes that were faster on paper but harder to live with on real roads. Riders began to notice the difference. The Blackbird felt composed at 100 miles per hour, where some others felt restless. It inspired confidence through its calm demeanor, not just its performance statistics. Inside Honda's engineering team, the Super Blackbird became a case study in balance. Its dual counterbalancer system, for example, virtually eliminated vibration even at extreme RPM. Its cooling system managed engine heat better than most of its peers, preventing performance fade during long high-speed runs. And its linked braking system continued to earn praise for its stability under load. These technical achievements turned the CBR1100XX into more than a record setter. It became a long-distance missile capable of crossing countries with poise and comfort. Few motorcycles could blend this level of composure with such incredible acceleration. Still, the pursuit of speed carried consequences. By the turn of the millennium, government agencies and safety organizations began to take notice of the escalating top speeds of production motorcycles. Public pressure mounted for manufacturers to self-regulate before regulations were imposed. The very competition that had produced the CBR1100XX's brilliance now threatened to end the era it defined. Behind closed doors, leading motorcycle companies reached a quiet agreement to limit top speeds to around 186 miles per hour, effectively freezing the top speed war. For the CBR1100XX, that truce arrived just as it was reaching perfection. The 2000 model year marked its most refined iteration, a motorcycle capable of immense performance within responsible limits. Its engine was tuned for smoother response rather than higher peak output, and its aerodynamics were adjusted to improve efficiency rather than raw velocity. Honda understood that longevity mattered more than temporary titles. The Super Blackbird would no longer chase numbers. It would represent mastery instead. Riders who experienced the 2000 CBR1100XX often described it as the ultimate all-rounder, a machine that could humble sport bikes in acceleration, outrun nearly anything on the highway, and yet remain comfortable enough for cross-country touring. Its handling was predictable, its controls precise, and its performance unwavering. Even at speeds where most motorcycles felt nervous, the Blackbird felt composed and almost serene. It was as if Honda had found the perfect formula for controlled power. As the speed war cooled, the CBR1100XX began to take on new meaning. It was no longer just a record holder. It was a reference point for engineering restraint. The world's fastest Honda had also become one of its most balanced. While some enthusiasts lamented the end of unrestricted machines, others recognized the brilliance of what Honda had achieved. The Super Blackbird was proof that ultimate speed did not require recklessness. It required vision, patience, and a deep respect for the relationship between rider and machine. Even as newer, more electronically sophisticated motorcycles emerged in the following decade, many riders continued to hold the Blackbird in reverence. It represented an era when mechanical engineering, not software, defined performance. The absence of traction control, ride modes, or electronic suspension did not make it feel outdated. It made it feel pure. Every input came directly from the rider, every correction from experience, every burst of power from a perfectly tuned mechanical heart. The CBR1100XX Super Blackbird stood as a bridge between two worlds, the analog precision of the past and the digital control of the future. In the years that followed, Honda would channel the lessons learned from the Blackbird into other motorcycles, focusing more on refinement, safety, and all-around usability. Yet none carried quite the same aura. The CBR1100XX remained unique, not only because of what it achieved but because of how it achieved it. It had nothing to prove by the end of its run. It had already demonstrated that speed and sophistication could coexist, that a motorcycle could be both powerful and graceful, and that true engineering excellence often lies not in excess but in restraint. The Super Blackbird's influence would ripple through Honda's lineup long after production ended. Its aerodynamic principles, chassis design, and balanced ergonomics would inform future generations of sport touring machines. But even as technology advanced, few bikes could replicate the sense of composure that defined the CBR1100XX. By the early 2000s, The CBR1100XX Super Blackbird had already cemented its place in motorcycle history. Honda had created something extraordinary, a machine that fused performance and composure into one seamless experience. The 2000 model year marked not only the final evolution of the Super Blackbird, but also the closing chapter of a remarkable era in motorcycle design. Speed, once an unrestrained pursuit, was now being tempered by responsibility. Yet within that constraint, Honda managed to produce one of its most accomplished motorcycles ever. The 2000 CBR1100XX represented the culmination of everything Honda had learned during the 1990s. It was the brand's definitive statement on what a flagship sport touring machine should be. The fuel-injected engine delivered power with silky precision. Gone was the slight hesitation of the carbureted models, replaced by instantaneous response. The aerodynamic profile, already among the best in its class, received subtle refinements that enhanced stability at highway speeds and improved efficiency. Its ergonomics struck a rare balance between aggressive and comfortable, allowing the rider to sit in control for hours without strain. Honda's attention to detail was evident in every aspect of the bike, from the precise feel of its controls to the durability of its finish. Even more impressive was how well the CBR1100XX performed across environments. It was equally at home slicing through mountain passes as it was covering hundreds of miles of interstate. The chassis delivered agility far beyond what its weight suggested, and the suspension absorbed imperfections without compromising feedback. Riders often describe the experience as confidence on demand, a motorcycle that invited high-speed travel but never demanded it. That was Honda's true genius with the Blackbird. It didn't beg to be pushed. It allowed riders to choose their pace and rewarded skill rather than recklessness. As the years passed, the CBR1100XX gained a reputation not just for speed but for reliability. Owners routinely logged tens of thousands of miles with minimal issues. The engine, built with Honda's legendary precision, was capable of enduring extreme use without complaint. Its finish resisted corrosion, its electronics were robust, and its components were engineered for longevity. This reliability further distinguished it from some of its faster but more temperamental rivals. The Super Blackbird wasn't just a machine built to win records. It was built to last. When production ended in 2007 in some markets, the CBR1100XX had already achieved legendary status. It had outlived the top speed war it helped ignite and transitioned gracefully into an icon of engineering restraint. Riders who owned one often held onto it, not just as a collector's piece but as a motorcycle that still felt relevant decades later. Even today, the Blackbird remains sought after for its unique blend of speed, comfort, and mechanical integrity. There is a sense of timelessness about it, as though Honda managed to capture an ideal formula that transcends changing trends. The CBR1100XX's legacy continues to influence how motorcycles are designed and perceived. Many of today's high-performance sport tourers owe part of their DNA to the Blackbird. Its emphasis on aerodynamics, balance, and control became foundational principles for the entire segment. Honda itself carried these lessons forward into later models that prioritized smoothness, long-distance capability, and stability under power. Even though electronics and rider aids now define modern performance bikes, the spirit of the Super Blackbird endures, the belief that true speed is nothing without precision. Culturally, the CBR1100XX also represented a shift in how riders viewed high-speed performance. It proved that speed could be accessible without chaos, that power could coexist with responsibility. In an age when motorcycles were often judged by how extreme they were, the Blackbird earned respect by being measured, refined, and unapologetically engineered for real-world mastery. It reminded riders that the thrill of performance comes not from recklessness but from the perfect alignment of human skill and mechanical harmony. In hindsight, the Super Blackbird was more than just a product of its time. It was a predictor of what was to come. The move toward aerodynamic efficiency, balanced power delivery, and seamless integration of comfort and control all became industry standards. The CBR1100XX had shown what was possible when a manufacturer chose to lead through engineering excellence rather than marketing bravado. It wasn't just a response to competitors. It was a declaration that mastery could be measured by how well a motorcycle behaved at the limit, not just how quickly it reached it. Today, enthusiasts still celebrate the 2000 Honda CBR1100XX Super Blackbird as a milestone in motorcycle design. It represents a moment when Honda proved that innovation, not excess, defines greatness. It bridged the gap between the analog performance of the past and the electronically enhanced sophistication of the present. Most importantly, it captured a philosophy that remains relevant. That speed, when engineered with intelligence and respect, can be both thrilling and civilized. The Super Blackbird did not just chase records. It embodied the very idea of what a perfected motorcycle could be. The spirit of the CBR1100XX lives on every time a rider seeks not just to go faster, but to go better. Every twist of the throttle, every measured lean through a corner, every moment of absolute control speaks to what Honda accomplished in that era. It was not about winning a single race or holding a temporary record. It was about redefining what performance meant for generations of riders to come. The 2000 Honda CBR1100XX Super Blackbird remains a timeless reminder that perfection is not found in extremes, but in balance, and that true speed, in the hands of Honda, will always be more than a number. The Honda CBR1100XX Super Blackbird 2000 remains one of the most important motorcycles ever built. Its legacy extends far beyond the numbers that once defined it. What made the Super Blackbird so remarkable was its refusal to be just another speed record holder. It was a motorcycle that spoke to the deeper side of engineering, the art of creating a machine so capable, so composed, that it transformed what riders believed was possible. Honda's goal was not to create chaos on wheels, but to redefine what speed could feel like when paired with control and refinement. The story of the CBR1100XX is also the story of a company at the height of its technical confidence. In the late 1990s and into 2000, Honda's engineering teams were operating with a level of precision and ambition rarely seen in the motorcycle world. The Super Blackbird embodied their philosophy of harmony between man and machine. Its smooth power delivery, impeccable balance, and aerodynamic poise were the results of thousands of hours of meticulous testing. Even today, many riders describe it as one of the most confidence-inspiring motorcycles ever made. That trust between rider and machine remains the ultimate benchmark of great design. Beyond the specifications, the CBR1100XX left an emotional impact on the motorcycling community. It symbolized a time when technology was mechanical, tangible, and deeply personal. There were no riding modes or electronic safety nets, just an extraordinary machine and the skill to command it. Every twist of the throttle was a dialogue between the rider's intent and the engine's response. That purity is something modern motorcycles often struggle to replicate. The Super Blackbird's excellence was not hidden in software. It was built into its very metal. The 2000 model marked the final refinement of this legend. Fuel injection perfected its throttle response, improved efficiency, and made power delivery seamless across the rev range. The chassis geometry and suspension tuning reached their most balanced state, making the bike equally comfortable on long journeys and exhilarating in spirited rides. Honda had achieved something rare, a motorcycle that could cruise effortlessly one moment and surge to supercar-level performance the next, all without losing composure. Its legacy continues to influence riders and designers alike. Every time a new high-performance sport touring motorcycle is introduced, it is measured, consciously or not, against the standard the Blackbird set. The balance of speed, comfort, and usability it pioneered remains the target for modern machines that seek to merge performance with practicality. Even as technology evolves, the core principle the CBR1100XX demonstrated, that true performance must feel natural, still guides the best motorcycles on the road. 2.5 decades later, the Super Blackbird holds a rare kind of respect. It is not idolized for its aggression, but for its maturity. It showed that the pursuit of speed could be graceful, that a motorcycle could be powerful without being punishing. Riders who have owned or ridden one often describe an enduring admiration, not for the thrill of speed, but for the calm confidence it inspired. That emotional connection is what keeps the legend alive. The CBR1100XX Super Blackbird 2000 was the pinnacle of an era, the moment when human craftsmanship met mechanical perfection before the digital age took over. Its story is not about nostalgia. It is about a timeless example of how restraint and precision can achieve greatness. Whether viewed as a technological milestone or an artistic triumph, it remains one of Honda's purest expressions of performance. As the sun sets on the age of purely mechanical superbikes, the lessons of the Super Blackbird remain clear. Perfection is not found in excess, but in balance. True performance is not about speed alone, but about mastery. The The 2000 Honda CBR1100XX Super Blackbird stands as a monument to that truth. A machine that redefined an entire category and proved that elegance and speed can share the same road. And for every rider who has ever felt the thrill of absolute control, the Blackbird still whispers the same quiet promise. There will always be faster machines, but there may never again be one so perfectly complete.